Some of my most performing content pieces are the ones that I'm sharing my journey, my story, my downfalls. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Edutainment Show with Priyank Jain. I'm your best friend in growth and success, and sorry for making those weird noises. Guys, the previous episode was on what branding is and why social media is the biggest opportunity. Now that you know that it is, and now that you know that you want to build your brand, let me tell you how in this episode, and I'm going to tell you that by telling you the best content strategy for social media to build your brand. And how do you need to go about it? Number one, build your tribe, build relatability and build your loyal fans, and also be positioned as an authority in your industry, as an expert in whatever you're doing, as the best probable person in whatever you're doing. So alright guys, I'm very excited for you. Stay till the end. You're going to get action points as always. Stay till the very end of this episode. And also don't forget to share the podcast. If you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. You know what you need to do. If you're on Spotify, follow us. Share this on your story. If you're on Apple Podcast, leave us some good, beautiful reviews, guys. थोड़ा तो यार इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं. Guys, let me tell you, we are creating these podcasts. It is not just my efforts. It is the efforts of a whole complete team. We have 5 people working on just the edutainment show and all the platforms that we are sharing this on at. So there's a lot of work going behind. बहुत मेहनत जा रही है. So please show us some support and help us become India's biggest entrepreneurship and personal development podcast. Thank you so much. Let's get right into it. Before that, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by the Gen Z Mastermind, which is a mastermind community of entrepreneurs, of influencers, where everyone's helping each other become and grow in their respective fields by helping each other with their network and helping each other by keeping each other accountable. So guys, let's get right into it. We know that we need to build on social media, we need to grow on social media. Now I'm going to share with you the content strategy that you need to use to, number one, build your personal brand or your brand or your business brand, whatever. The strategy that I've used so far, my personal brand, and I've taught this to a lot of people whenever they've asked me about a personal brand or people who've been a part of my courses and programs and whatever. So let's dive right into it, dive right into the juicy stuff. I mean, before that, let me just touch upon a little bit on why I think personal brand is the biggest opportunity. Building your personal brand is going to be way more effective than building your business brand. I already mentioned one point, and that was that a person is definitely going to get, there's a stat that says a person gets 563% more engagement than a company gets, right? So why? Because again, people buy people. You are going to follow people online. The biggest people you follow online are because that they have a certain personality, that you relate to them in some level, or you're very happy, or you love their content, or whatever it is. There are very, very, very few people that follow brands and follow, the work that is done. So if you want to build your business, no matter which industry you are in, I would strongly suggest you to build a personal brand. And the strategy that I'm about to give you works for both, but works amazingly for your personal brand, right? So let's get right into it. Number one, what you need to do is, there are 2 types of content. The first type of content are the broad pieces of content. Let's start here. Broad content are content that engage you and make others feel related to you as a person, to you as a company, right? Now, these are not the things about your products, about your expertise, about your service in in your niche, but these are about who you are. These are about what you stand for. These are about what do you do in your pastime. These are about things that you are passionate about. Why? These are about your stories. And why these types of content? Because these types of content will connect you with people and make them your true fans. Because they'll feel that, okay, I see myself in that person. I want to become like that person sometime down the line. When that happens, the whole equation changes. Why? Because once they are connected to you, remember when I told this to you on the speaking podcast, that people will choose to learn from you based on what you teach them, but people will choose to be loyal to you based on what you show them, based on the stories you show them, based on your experiences that you share with them, based on you as a person. So make sure you that is the broad kinds of content where you're just sharing about what you do, how you do it. I mean, what you do on a day-to-day basis. On Instagram, I keep sharing my story as to what I'm doing daily on a regular basis. The second part of the content strategy is the niche content. The niche content is the content that you are creating for a specific topic under that is related to your offer, that is related to what you do professionally, or that is related to what you want to probably share with them or sell them down the line. And these content are adding value to them and educating them on your expertise. For example, when I started out last 1.5 2 years, I've been creating content all on personal branding. I've been sharing ebooks, I've created courses, I've created training programs, I've did workshops, I've shared a lot of video content on just personal branding. Why? Because I wanted to be known as the personal branding guy and I wanted to be known as an expert on that industry. Why? So what happens is when I'm creating content on personal branding, जब मैं personal branding की ही बातें कर रहा हूँ, जब मैं आपको सिखा रहा हूँ personal branding के बारे में, उससे क्या होता है कि आप मेरे को देखते हो as a person कि अच्छा, this guy knows about what he is talking. He probably is sharing so much about personal branding. When you go educate people, they automatically see you as an authority. Education is the best form of marketing. Remember this, education is the best form of marketing. Why? Because when you educate, when you add value, when you teach them, when you solve some problem in their life, in what they are going through, they automatically see you as an authority, as an expert in what you're doing. And eventually, if they have that need and their desire to learn that from you, they'll probably buy your products and services. So these are the two types of content that I've shared with you. One is the broad content that you need to, that almost everyone relates to, and niche content will probably get less engagement but will position you as an authority. Broad content is something that everyone will relate to. Like some of my most performing content pieces are the ones that where I'm sharing my journey, my story, my downfalls, my valley journey, where what struggles I've been through. In fact, the whole trailer of this podcast was my story and was my journey so far, right? So that is what you need to do, guys. And then people ask me, Priyank, what is the balance between the broad and niche content? So here I want to tell you what is the right balance between the broad and niche content. I mean, there is no right or wrong. There are people, influencers like Gary Vee, who talk about only broad content because he needs to reach to reach to 10 million people, and he wants to connect with all these guys. So all he does is talks about those same 12 topics, not in a disrespectful way, but topics like that you need to value your human life, that you need to don't worry about your 20s, you have a whole life ahead, don't judge yourself, be conscious about how you're investing, where you're investing, social media, this and that. Now, if Gary Vee wanted, he could have been a social media expert because he has his own a complete agency on social media. He could have created those kinds of content and become known as that guy. But he wants to be known as the guy who's he wants to become the world's biggest entrepreneur. So that's how he's branding himself. But when it comes to someone like Russell Brunson, if you know him, he specifically talks about marketing funnels, marketing strategy, and he's built a complete company on that. He's positioned himself as the best guy in marketing when it comes to creating funnels and stuff. So that is that. So you decide what brand you want to create. If you ask me, I would suggest have a 50-50 balance where you're sharing your story, sharing your journey with your content that keeps a balance. For example, something like the edutainment show. I'm going to talk about personal development and all these topics that everyone can relate to, and also topics like this one right now on social media, branding, and all these things that will probably position me as an authority in whatever I'm sharing with you, right? Because I probably know about these things on a deeper level. I've learned about them. I have my agency, I have my consulting business that and my education business that backs these things. So that is it for the content strategy, guys. Here are the action steps. I want you to again make a list of 5 types of broad content that you are going to create It can be your lifestyle, it can be funny reels, it can be your dance videos, it can be your talents, whatever that you think can connect you with people. What are the 5 types of broad content you'll create, and what are the 5 types of niche content that you'll create? Make a list of these five things. Niche content can be like your expertise, your about your products, services, whatever, and share them in the challenge group, in the Telegram group. I'll be looking forward. Now, don't worry if you're late or early. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, you can share all these action steps on the group so that people know, people get inspired, and people who share will obviously get value. Taking action is going to get you so much value. It is not just listening. You need to take action on it. It is not just hearing and getting excited, all amped up that, oh, I learned so many things. It is about taking action, and that's when you'll probably get that and live with that value in your life. So that is it for this video, this podcast, this episode. I'm really happy that I could share so much value with all of you guys. Please share this video with your friends, family, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. You know how to do it, what to do it. If you're on Spotify, don't forget to follow us and share this on your story. If you're on Instagram, share this on your Instagram again. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I'm Priyank Jain, your best friend in growth and success. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next podcast.